I actually remember very vividly how I got into the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. It was Christmas, possibly a birthday, but I think it was Christmas. And my dad got me and my brother copies of How to Train Your Dragon and How to Be a Pirate, the first two books in the series. Unfortunately, I can't tell you whose was whose because, well, it doesn't actually say, and this was so long ago I can't actually remember who it was given to. The funny thing is, I don't remember reading these much when I first got them. It was on a school trip in year four, so this would have been when I was about 9 or 10, and a few people in our year group went on a trip to Paris, and I took these two with me, and I read them, and I found myself really enjoying them. A couple of years later, I picked up upon the series by buying the third book, and taking it with me on a similar school trip. This one to Malvern. This trip occurred in year six, so I probably would have been about 10 or 11 by then. And I've been collecting the books ever since. Shortly after the movie came out, the books changed their editions, attaching this like scroll over all of the titles, and ditching the books being Hiccup's memoir thing on the front covers, just crediting them to Cressida Cowell. And once I started collecting these particular editions of the books, I did so very quickly until I reached the most recent one, Book 8, How to Break a Dragon's Heart. And of course, I read the ending and I wound up thinking, oh my god, this is amazing, I can't wait for the next book. And then I got How to Steal a Dragon's Heart at a book fair, and great book, really exciting ending, and I couldn't stop noticing something. They changed the editions again. Now we have a much more ornate logo, completely different covers in some cases, and of course, one new addition. Trading cards! Which I never used! Also, one other thing about these particular editions that purely applied to my consumption of these books. A pattern formed. That pattern went a bit like this. Oh my god, that ending was incredible! I bet the next one's gonna be the last one!
Nope, there's still plenty more after this.
God damn it! Woohoo! There's gonna be more! And of course, in 2015, we soon reached the final book. You might notice this one's a hardback. Well, that's very simple. I went and brought this as soon as possible. As soon as possible turned out to be the October half term in Warsaw's W.H. Smith's. I brought this thing for half price, which is more than a bargain considering that this was the finale to a book series I loved as a kid. In fact, I believe that I brought this the same day I brought Gali and the Akimura Mask Maker sets, which you might notice around. Now, I did say I brought this in October. Funny thing, I didn't actually read it then. I decided to put it off until December, where I was planning on reading through both the How to Train Your Dragon series and the entirety of the Captain Underpants series, since they were both childhood series coming to an end on their 12 books that came out in 2015. My plan was to read through the series and read this one for the first time on New Year's Eve. That wound up not happening. I instead read this on New Year's Day. And oh boy, I still very clearly remember the experience of reading this thing. I spent the whole day engrossed in it, and I was really tense. Honestly, I think it was the tensest I've ever been reading a book. I don't think any other reading experience has topped that. That's how amazing this was. And of course, another reason I'm glad I brought this thing in hardback was because it is one of the most beautiful covers I have ever seen in my entire life. Just look at this. I also remember quite clearly how I discovered there was a movie being made. It was late 2009, early 2010. I'm not quite sure exactly which of those two it was, but it was definitely that point. I'd just gone to the cinema to see something. This was at the Odeon in Tamworth, I believe, and as we'd exited our screening to go home, I went to the toilet, and when I came out, I happened to look to the side of me, and I saw this film poster It was a young Viking whose helmet was smoking. You couldn't see the figure's head, just that it was a Viking, and like I said, his helmet was on fire. And the name of this film? How to Train Your Dragon. Naturally, I completely freaked out. Like, oh my god, this series I love is being made into a movie. And it's being made by DreamWorks. I like DreamWorks. You know, because I was a kid and my standards in quality hadn't yet developed. But seriously, I was really excited. And even when the trailers were coming out and I could see that it was quite different how the book's story was, not even that fazed me. I knew I was going to have a good time with this film. And you know what? I did. It was amazing and I loved it. And eventually I would decide this is my favourite DreamWorks film ever. Well, that is until sequel. It was 2014, and once again, I found myself looking forward to the How to Train Your Dragon movie. The premise was interesting. I loved the redesigns. The animation looked even better. Seriously, when I saw this thing in the cinema, I found myself thinking, wow, this looks real, just like what those mocap movies were trying to do. Except for, you know, it didn't look creepy. And honestly, it was amazing, but there was just one problem I had with the film's marketing. Literally every trailer except for the teaser gave away the fact that Hiccup's mother was in it. Okay, I know Hiccup's mother isn't on the front cover, so don't worry. Yeah, seriously, Hiccup's mother was in every trailer. That would have been amazing to not know about until the moment on screen where she unmasks herself and says, "But a mother never forgets." Come on, that would have been amazing to discover for the first time during the screening. I don't really have that many other stories relating to this film, except for the fact that I honestly didn't know I was going to see it in the cinemas. Literally, so many weeks passed without me going. I was honestly worried that I wasn't going to be able to make it, that I'd have to wait until the DVD came out. But no, I managed to get through a screening in the end, this time at the Showcase in Warsaw. And once I discovered that this was planned to be the middle part in the trilogy, well, I couldn't wait for the third one. Unfortunately, waiting was all I had to do. Because, as we all know at this point, its original 2016 release didn't come to pass. Neither did its 2017 release, or its 2018 release either. But hey, at least we had a TV show to help us out while we waited. Yeah, I didn't manage that either. It took me forever to catch up on the TV series. Well, I brought this DVD not long after it came out, and the main reason I brought it in the first place was because I saw it had 2 discs in it, and I thought, hey, 2 discs? Maybe this DVD will actually be worth something, unlike those individual volumes that just have like 5 episodes in and then a complete box set comes out anyway, making your individual purchase completely pointless. Cough, Ben 10 Alien Force cough. And yeah, I bought this DVD, quite enjoyed it. But then I kept putting off buying part 2 or the Defenders of Berk DVDs. My only explanation for this was because I was stupid and kept getting distracted by other things, mostly graphic novels. So yeah, it wasn't until my 19th birthday in 2018 where I finally got the rest of the DVDs in this series. And even then, I still didn't have enough material to keep me going until the third movie, because I decided to wait until January in order to binge Race to the Edge. Yeah, I'm very stupid, but I did wind up doing that and it was pretty fun. Race to the Edge is pretty enjoyable, and this as well. Seriously, one thing I love about this franchise is that everything feels like it matters in terms of the overall continuity, and that's pretty impressive, especially given how most tie-in TV shows just tend to be disposable filler. But of course, How to Train Your Dragon 3 did eventually come out, and once again, it was amazing. I spent the whole of January watching through all the movies and all the TV show, to prepare myself mentally. And on February the 3rd, I got to see it in cinemas, and oh boy, that was incredible. Let me tell you, it really was an amazing conclusion to the series. Although I couldn't help feeling a little saddened during the whole procedure, not just because of the emotional stakes the movie had, but mainly because now that that movie's come out, what do I have left to look forward to in the How to Train Your Dragon franchise? Well, there is the Dark Horse graphic novels, those could be fun, but seriously, the books are done and over with, and now the DreamWorks franchise, for the most part, has come the same way. This series has been with me for so long now. So yeah, that was a quick summary of my experience with the How to Train Your Dragon franchise, and I will see you again for one final video in How to Train Your Dragon month.